Okay, so now we have finally made our way to our first K rule set. We're going to be looking at tropical. So the main issue, at least with like looking at this VOD, which I don't really know if it's worth looking at. This one is this VOD's from March of last year. That was a long time ago. So like overall, I don't really know if I should be looking at this one. Like versus like if I go to like the SoCal Chronicles one, like that one's, in this case we're just gonna look at the SoCal Chronicles one where he's fighting Ketchup. Just because like the other one's a year ago, I don't really think it's really relevant to look at that. So yeah, it's gonna be him versus Ketchup. So overall, Bowser Jr. K. Rool is a matchup I have never played before, so I don't have too much thoughts about how it's gonna work out. But at least some things I could say. I think, I think the funny thing is like I think Junior's Cannonball is just gonna go completely through K. Rool. So our Cannonball is very strange in how it'll work in this matchup. However, I do think it's gonna completely beat out Clown Cart, which is the good thing. And then, of course, Crown's going to be able to at least interfere with Mecha Koopa. I do not know if Cannonball interferes with Mecha Koopa. Plague, let me know if that does anything to it. Crown works on Cannonball. Okay, I can imagine that, because that would just go right through it. Then, the other thing, too, is, like, of course, our hitboxes will be very, very good against Junior as well. Very big, very meaty. And while we definitely don't have the frame data advantage over Junior, it's about the same. You'll at least be able to use those to just kind of put him in very, very bad situations. And then, of course, Nair's wonderful. You're going to be able to edge guard him like crazy with that one. Campbell's kind of self Mecha. Okay, that's good to know. When Junior up air hits, oh yeah, that's got to be really good. Like the juggling that Junior's going to have on Rool's got to be ridiculously good. And not to mention that the attack, the power that's behind Junior's up air. Let me double check what the damage is, because I don't know it off the top of my head. I just know it's strong. Does 10%. Yeah, so like 3 of those, and that's broken. So that's the main scary thing with that. Yeah. No, like that's the one thing where Rool's gonna do good is just edge guarding. So okay, yeah, that did a really good job just taking care of it. So that's I like where Tropical's at least throwing out the crown, just because like I feel like taking care specifically. So specifically like against Juniors love to jump. So like covering the short hop range with crown, I think is like among the best things you could do. Like if you take away that as a movement option, they can't side B because like that is like that little hop. They can't throw out their Cannonball. They can't throw out their Mecha Koopa in the way that they want to. Like they would have to be very, very grounded. That significantly reduces what they're going to do. Not to mention if they do like full hop above it and like they want to throw out things like Mecha Koopa and all that stuff, then they have to deal with a retreating crown that could potentially gather it as round. So not a bad thing to do. But yeah, oh, the combos. And he used his jump too. So like one thing he could have done there is like he could have actually just like dropped down there to kind of put him in a very awkward position. And like yeah, because of like that you can do the abandoned ship, like up air stalling is so important here. Just because like you need to mix up your timing. Oh yeah, that way too early on that Mecha Koopa. You have to remember it's not going to fall like instantly. Oh god, no. Yeah, I hope he had that grab like completely buffered because like that was like that abandoned ship happened so early that it should have just been there. Okay, so now 90%. That's where we're gonna start going for those down throw mix-ups. The other thing too is like I want to get those crowns out there to just like interfere with the Mecha Koopa, so I'm not dealing with it. The other thing too, as Lisa says, K. Rool is like, or any character, if they throw Mecha Koopa up, you could just like drop down up air, and then like you're not really gonna have to worry about dealing with Mecha Koopa. You'll just hit him, put him in a bad situation, and then you get your whole advantage state start from there. I was convincingly dead. You might have been able to kill at 90. Okay. God, that hurts so much. Oh, man. That was just unfortunate. He couldn't have gotten anything out of that moment. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, no, definitely. Like he held shield for way too long there. That's the thing that sucks about Junior. Like, while his grab is not necessarily good, if he gets one on Rule, that I could see that always being like 50 to 80%. So that's just a thing. Like most characters, it's fine to get grabbed, but like Junior's not one you want that for. Um, But yeah, the other thing too is like you have to know your timings for the edge guarding against Junior as well, because once you have that, it's not going to really be too scary there. But I would have liked him to see back and like do a little bit more of the projectile game, just because Crown does look like it's pretty good with dealing with a lot of the things that Junior has. Um, and then you can also at least probably throw like a cannonball to like cover that neutral area as well. But yeah, it's just literally keep an eye on that Mecha Koopa was important. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Once you take, like, I'd kind of treat it like most matchups. Like, you take 80 and then you're fine. Yeah, it's like, that's the thing. It's like, there's a lot of times that people will go for cannonballs in just really bad areas. Like, that's kind of a common thing I've noticed with, like, a lot of rules. So it's like, let's look at the way you started off. So cannonball there, okay, that's fine. Control the ground. But then like, Ketchup is just running into him, so you could have just like full hop fared and just kind of beaten out anything he would have done. And then like over here, he's just like after he got the crown out, he just was not watching where Ketchup was going. Like this is not an area you're going to be throwing out cannonball most of the time, unless you see him like jump back and try to do Mecha Koopa. Yeah. No, he got really lucky. He could just air dodge out of that. Yeah, so that's the other thing too is like trying to land with fair in a lot of situations. Like if you see an attack coming out and it's not going to break your armor, like coming down with there is going to help out a lot with just like stuffing out a lot of things. Uh, yeah, no, I agree with that too. Yeah, like I don't think he doesn't really seem like he thinks about what type of attacks that he's throwing out there. A lot of the time. Let me just check Clown Cart real quick. I just want to see how much damage the spin out does. So if you trade with spin out, which is a very strong if, I guess like 10%. So 16.3 if you get the strong hit, but 10% if you get the lingering one, which is most likely what you're going to get. But overall, it's just like when you look at the hitbox is just so low that I'll just bring it up here real quick just for reference. It's like that hitbox is very low. If you come down with an ink, you're probably hitting him. And not to mention that like he gets his head stuck out there too. So that's what I would do personally. Just so like I don't risk like trading. I don't disagree with that down air just because like if he did land it, that could have been the stock. Ooh, no. Yeah, you can't go for enough smash there. You're going for up air or up tilt. Especially if Ketchup plays this character, because then like, he's going to know how to mash that properly. Because there are a lot of people that don't think you can mash them when you first pick them up, at least from what I've noticed. Yeah, then also just the timing was a little bit off there. Like I would have waited a little bit longer. And the other thing too is like, okay, so like now that Junior's at 26%, so dash attack would be good if you were ready to kill them, but also just wait, because the second that like Junior lands with a lot of lag, no matter what, so like just being here in the center stage position would be so good. So if you want damage, which I think you should go for at this point, throw out the crown. So then that way, when it's coming backwards, you can just run up, jab him, crown hits. Then you could do like down air, up air, nair, whatever you want to do afterwards. And then just had a really good sequence. And even so, if you were at death percent, you throw out crown. So that way, when he lands, jab, jab, crown comes back. And then you could do up air, up smash, back air, whatever you need to do, or maybe down air, up air, whatever you need. He just could have gotten a much stronger punish by doing that. I think we could have gotten one more down air off of that. I like that he at least went for nair. That was the smart option, but timing was off. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why you would go for blunder there. Like, if he has to go down, just, fall down with nair and, touch him. He's dead. If not, at least go for the down air and land at ledge so that way you can get the two frame that way. And then even if you get the weak hit, he should still be dead. No, that's an air. Oh, you are dead. Or you're taking 83. That's what I should say. Oh, yeah. A little bit of an ill-advised dash attack there. See, that's not a bad blunderbuss, because like at least you're setting up an advantage there. Okay, at least that's not the worst one set up, but he didn't land on the platform, so. It was kind of interesting to see it. It looked like reflected cannonball. Let me double take this. It looked like a reflected cannonball did not hit the Mecha Koopa, but he might have been a little bit too high. Let me see. Wait, what? Wait. Oh, it fell down at that moment, I think. Let me see. Okay. So it didn't extend the distance. That makes sense. Yeah, no, unfortunately he didn't. Back air's not that you would want to go for nair to cover there. So it's just like neutral. I really don't like a lot of the blunderbusses he went for. I think that was the biggest issue right there. Where's the weird? Oh yeah, yeah. No, the rule up air is a smash attack. It's the closest IRL competing K roll you get to be. Oh yeah, that should have been a dash attack. The activates when it hits the floor. Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, but no, just like overall, it's just like having those tech options like covered properly with rules so important because like I guess in a lot of matchups you're not getting a lot of openings, so it's like off of those 2 or 3 openings you just need to close out the stocks and everything, and that's just not what was happening there. So it's like just focus on when you're throwing out blunderbuss. Those were really bad. When you get those down, you'll be a lot better for it. Focus on watching your opponent too, because when you do that, you'll place your hitboxes in the proper areas and knowing what to actually go for in those scenarios. So like where to follow them for techs, where to cover for them to cover their approaches coming in. That'll do a lot better. I think overall, like except for like a couple of instances where you just kind of landed on top of Mecha Koopa, which was bad, you at least avoided that one pretty fine. But also just getting used to the junior ledge setups with with the Mecha Koopa as well, because like because of our ledge hang is so low, like you don't really have to worry about like F Smash catching you. You don't have to worry about Mecha Koopa catching you and all that stuff. And you get that stuff down, then you just realize, okay, if I just wait, I'll be okay. And if you do that, then you'll feel good. You'll feel good about a lot of things. So yeah, a lot of things to work on. Getting the confirms down, at least knowing how to... Honestly, just knowing how to use Crown and Blunderbuss properly in neutral will go a long way. And then just practicing watching your opponent. That's it. You need to work on those things. So understanding how Blunderbuss and Crown really gives you that advantage in neutral, and just playing the game in general. That's kind of what those neutral things came down to. It's just like it doesn't... You're more focused on your buttons than actually playing against the opponent that's in front of you, and that's something that just like a lot of people in general that are playing the game kind of have an issue with. It's something you learn the more that you play.